We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butella.
and I'm Jill DeWitt, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 1950, believe it or not. And today we are talking about our 4-hour investment work week from the road. We're in our rig right now. And how mailer yield is a direct result of who answers your phones.
Two really important topics, I got to tell you. Let's go back to topic number one for a second. I just want to cover these things. For those of you who are watching us, watch this. I can extend both arms and I'm not hitting a wall. And I'm not sitting at a kitchen table.
We have a new RV and
It's over there.
Jill's delighted.
Yes, we have upgraded, everyone. So yeah, for those of you who are in our RV world, we went from 24 to 38 basically, and now that we're in 38, okay, already 38, we feel like wow. And then and we've been 2 nights, by the way, in our 38. And what does Jack say today? Do we need a 43 or a 45?
Geez. You knew that was coming.
I'm like, what? Like, we don't need bunk beds. We don't have kids. We don't have pets.
And we have these workstations.
Well, we have kids, but they're not allowed to come with us. We don't allow overnight guests. No, just kidding. So, kind of.
This is a happy wife moment for me.
Oh, well, and you too. Thank you very much. But and it's a whole different ballgame. So, yes, as you can see, that's going to tie into our topic today, because everybody's like, what do I need to know to do this from the road like you guys? You guys are in an RV.
Might be the back of a boat.
You've had 2 years in your little RV, and we did a good thing. I'm very proud of our two years in our little RV. I think we fared very well. We stayed together as a couple. Our companies held on.
These are all valid points.
Exactly.
There are moments where we weren't sure about
it was
all
touch and go. And it was the companies were fine. It was us that was touch and go. But now we're in a much different situation, and we can really spread out. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I did a show, a live thing last week. It was live webinar, which we also streamed on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. It was great. It was so much fun. And here from the road. And the whole topic was, as a land investor, can you really do this from the road? So the 4-hour work week is one part of it, and then doing it from the road is another part of it. Putting it together, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Now the land company, the whole Land Academy part of it, that's not a 4-hour work week.
Are you going to go into the topic here?
I guess I am. I will stop now.
Each week we answer questions from our Land Academy Discord forum. We review land acquisitions from our weekly Thursday member webinar, and we take a deep dive look into 2 land-related topics that are usually requested on the Discord channel or through some venue by our members. Let's take a question posted by one of our actual members on the Land Academy Discord online community. If you want a sneak peek, go to landacademy.com. It's free. Andre
wrote, I got my first signed purchase agreement back in an email. I believe I can sell the lot for 3 times the purchase agreement price. Awesome, because Andre did it right. I would like to talk to a few agents in the area about what they think it could sell for. Any tips on how to approach the agent and what questions to ask? Sure, really easy. I love this. So, and I like that too. That's sometimes, part of my due diligence also. Like, all right, I think I know what's going on. Sometimes I know, and sometimes I'm like, I think I know what's going on. I just want to confirm it, A. And B, I want to find an agent anyway. I want to kind of see who I connect with and see how smart these guys are. Why not bust out the calls now? Why wait? And I'd rather have them lined up. So what you want to do is you want to call them and be a little bit, you don't want to say, I'm staring at a purchase agreement and it's for this amount. You don't want to share any of that. You want to just kind of skip along the top, like, I just got this property. Let them assume you own it. Number one. I just got this property and I want to see what you could sell it for. great. Okay, awesome. I assume you own it. You're calling me to sell it. You got their attention. And then I want you to say, this is what I do, because I don't want to hang on to it forever. I'm not going to do a long thing with them. So I want you to say, I want to get your opinion on it. And there's no fire. I'd like to know what you could sell it for. I don't know, between like 30 and 90 days kind of thing. That's what they know. Great. Where is it? Okay, it's off I-42 or whatever.
Yeah.
Wherever it is. Here's you want me to email you? Do you want me to text you the APN? What do you want me to do? Okay, and then they take over. All right, I'm going to be at my desk in about an hour. So why don't you email me? Here's my email. Great. Okay, and then I'm going to be in that area on Tuesday afternoon, and then I'll get right back to you. Awesome. That is what your initial phone call should be. That's it. And let them go do it. And by the way, do that with 3 people. Okay, because it may take more than 3, but I want you to have a conversation with 3, because if 4 don't answer the phone at all, you can't get with them. They're not your guy anyway, because if you can't call them about selling a property, people can't call them and reach them about buying a property. So you want to get those responsive agents and those agents that are excited about this property. And in a perfect world, they're going to come back they're going to follow through like you just said. You're going to text them or email them. They're going to reply, okay, got it. I'll let you know Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning. I'll get to know what I think. And you're like, great. And then of those 3 that you connect with, probably 2 will get back to you, and one of them hopefully you're really going to connect with, and they're going to go, I love this. I just sold one just like this about 4 months ago, but it wasn't even as nice as this. So here's what I think. I think if we list it for 72, we'll probably get at least 60, 65. That's how it should go. And you're like, awesome. And then at the end of that, you're going to say, great. I appreciate that. Okay, give me a couple weeks to finalize everything on my end, which is code for I haven't closed on it yet, but they don't need to know that. And say, I'm going to call you back inside of 30 days. Watch for me. And they're like, great, I will. Done.
Andre's brand new.
Okay.
Or relatively new. Mm-hmm. He's plastered himself all over Discord.
Oh,
and he's
good.
asking all kinds of good questions.
This is
in fact,
great.
The second question later in this episode is from him too. So you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You sent some mail out. Sounds like you got a great property here among a group of properties I think that you're buying or potentially buying, and you're asking questions. Here's a basic rule of thumb about when to start reaching out in a local community about a local property that you think you should buy. There's always this risk of you don't control the property.
What are you asking?
You're asking a lot of questions from local people about a local property, and you don't control it. You just got a purchase agreement back. That doesn't mean it's like it's signed, sealed, and it's over.
True.
So you always have to ask yourself, is this property good enough for me to open escrow on and then start doing getting people's valuation opinions? And it's sometimes yes, sometimes no. And you did the right thing. You're asking this community. I would even go further and try to find somebody who knows the local area and start asking them questions within our group, within reason.
Which is what he's kind of doing.
Yeah. Well, he's reaching out. He's not saying where it is or anything.
Exactly.
So we have a would you do this deal section in Discord.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable, you could post it there. People are going to say, heck yes.
I answered his question was just about approaching an agent and what to ask.
I know. You don't want to give away. You don't want to give away the APN because the first thing they're saying,
You do.
Sure, where it is. Where is it? If it's not under contract.
Well, I have a signed purchase agreement. Well,
I disagree.
All right, you are allowed to.
That's why there's 2 people on this show. And co-founders.
That's hilarious. If you are in any way nervous about that, yes, open escrow, get an escrow number.
My goodness,
and
Joe.
still make the phone call. No big deal.
Today's first topic is called mailer yield is a direct result of who answers your phones.
Actually, that's the second topic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Today's first topic is called
There we go.
4-Hour Workweek Land Investing from the Road.
Thank you very much. Because this is the one I really want to deep dive about. And the reason is this was a hot topic last week. So much, though, there were between 100 and 200 of you that showed up to listen to me and watch me and ask me questions live last week about this topic. This is interesting. I'm curious. I should have asked, is it more about the 4-hour work week or is it more about doing it from the road? I think it was more about the 4-hour work week. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do,
Because you were
actually.
there, you watched, you heard. So, all right, yeah. Because the questions were, but there were several of you that said, "I'm on the road too. I get you guys. I love it. This is what I want to do." We have people in our, it used to be with Jack. It was back of a boat. When we first got together, he's like, I always wanted a business where we did very well. We didn't have to work that hard, and we could do it from the back of a boat. So, and you did that. Mm-hmm. And now we transferred to wheels, doing it on wheels and doing it on the land. But still, we're not, we're not stationary, if you will. We are for a few minutes, but that's about it. So I want to talk about what really goes on and how the heck I can do this and we can do this in a 4-hour work week. And a lot of it is stuff you've put in place. I'm going to give Jack some credit here. We have a lot of systems. We have a great team, and we've had to work to get to this point. But I will. So just jump in at any moment.
This whole topic of 4-hour work week. First, let me preface this. I hate little sayings like this. I hate it. Oh, let's a 4-hour work week. Oh, you can passive income and you don't have to do anything. That's just not the case. This is a result of years. Jill's right. Years and years and years. Your first year of land investing, you're not going to have a 4-hour work week. It might be closer to 80 if you do everything right. So, but you can achieve at some point a 4-hour work week. So, this entire buying and selling of land the way that we do it is a result of me trying not to work and me surrounding myself, Jill included, with somebody who is really efficient, wants the same stuff that I do, and all of our top managers are just like that, with a couple of exceptions. So there's no fibbing or no embellishing, let's call it, on any of that. A 4-hour work week in buying and selling real estate or land specifically is very, very accomplishable. Honest to God, I think it's 4 hours between the two of us. Well, yeah,
is. 3.5, 30 minutes. That's really how it goes. 3.5 hours to me and 30 minutes to Jack, which is it's true. It's funny, but it's true.
Here's how it plays itself out. If you're starting out or you're scaling, let's say, if you're between 1 and 10 deals, you do the first deal, you buy it for $10,000, you sell it for 25, and you're either going to say, are you kidding me? I can do this 200 times a year. What do I have to do? Or you're going to say, I don't like this. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't like it. So there's a Y in the road there, and you're going to kind of choose which way. Once you go down the path where the light bulb went off over your head, and you want to start, I want to do 200 deals a year. Then you start to say, or if you're me or like me, you start to say stuff like, hey, I got that deal done, and geez, I hated doing a mailer. I'm going to get somebody. I'm going to figure out who can do a mailer out there for a lot less money and a lot faster. Yeah, and I hated talking on the phone that whole time. I had to talk to the real estate agent. I had to talk to the seller. I don't want to do that. I got to get somebody else to do that. In my case, I found a partner who likes doing that. And so step by step by step, you get yourself to where you're doing nothing. And it's very, very, very profitable. But you still have a conductor's baton in your hand, which is thus the 4-hour work week, which is why, and this is my final point here, I can't stand when people talk about passive income because I just don't believe it. The only passive income that I know about is interest income, where you put money into not even the stock market, because you got to check that. Interest income in a CD or something like that, that's passive. That's right, and that's fair. That's really good. So I'm going to back up and explain a little bit. I started to talk about this in the intro too, about the land investing part. You can and you should get to this point. The Land Academy stuff, everything else that we do, that's not a 4-hour work week, but that's okay. So, and I want to talk about too what equipment I need. What do I need to do this from the road? So first of all, you want the 4-hour work week like we do. How does this all start? First of all, what do you got to do day one? You got to set your acquisition criteria. What do you like Jack talked about? You got to think about how hard do I want to work? How many deals I want to do? What do I want these deals to yield? Kind of thing. And that's my acquisition criteria. Got it. That's minutes, right? Next you got to do is, where are these properties? I got to figure out where they are so I know where to send my mail.
That's called trolling. This is all Jack's side of the sheet, by the way. So this is the front end stuff that he does. Feel free to interrupt me or add or change. I know you do. So that's Jack's stuff, and really he does have it down. And I joke about the 30 minutes. You know what it is in truth? He's always trolling. That's the thing about Jack. You know, that's the thing about Land Academy, why people are with us, because we're really focused. We're investors with you. I'm an investor first. We both are. That's our core bread and butter, our business. And we try to stay ahead of everything to make sure we have the latest and greatest data, make sure we're spotting trends in areas and learning to even identify trends so we can come back and teach you and show you how to do this. So you too, your business will thrive like ours. Cool. Watching somebody bigger than us roll by on their way out of town. Like, okay. So anyway, that's our thing. So Jack's part is that, so he's always kind of trolling. I say 30 minutes, you know, but it's 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. For him, I think he loves it. He's always on his phone looking at areas. We know our acquisition criteria, or we know what's within our threshold, let's say. And I'm going to say our acquisition criteria is pretty much always what's the hottest. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's going to change. If
Changes all the time.
we see a lot of things selling in the $75,000 range, I'm going to tailor my stuff there. If I see a lot of things selling in the $110,000 range, I'm going to tailor it there. I usually don't go too small because I don't want to swim in that pool, you know, kind of thing. I don't want to deal with that. It's going to be in the healthy pool where I know I'm going to make a good profit. I'm not going to jump up and down for $9,000 profit. I will jump up and down for $90,000 profit. That's the stuff I look for and above. So that's, you know, the kind of the first things you're thinking about. And think about this. And as I go through this, I'm going to tell you what equipment you need. What do you need to do this? A phone. That's it. A phone. You don't even need Wi-Fi. Your phone has internet. You know, you have your hotspot. You have whatever. You can be sitting there at a restaurant, or waiting to get on a plane, or, you know, at lunch and bored, and you could be trolling and going, we just drove through that area. I look at this. I just noticed some things, and I look on the other side of the ridge. I noticed this, jotting down on my phone those zip codes. I'm gonna look those up later. Okay, so that's a little bit of what you need to do. Then you come back. Now you're settled. Whether you're in a hotel room, whether you're on your boat, whether you're in your rig parked, you know, you're going to spend a little time again on your phone, you know, looking deeper. But now you're going to get your laptop out and start really looking at these areas and looking at how many properties are for sale. This is all part of the trolling that we teach in Land Academy. And I'm going to go on a little faster because I have a lot to cover.
There's 10 steps to buying and selling a piece of land successfully, converting whatever it ends up being, buy for 30, sell for 100. There's 10 steps that have to happen.
Right.
The vast majority, maybe with the exception of one or two, can be outsourced by, and you have two choices here. They can be outsourced to people who work for you, which is at this age and with our experience level, our first choice, or they can be outsourced to unrelated third parties.
Right. Which is the next phase after you troll and you've got your zip codes and all that.
Is that what you're going toward here? Okay,
exactly.
Go ahead,
so yeah, thank you. So we've got that part out of the way.
Trolling is something that I don't think you can outsource. You have to decide where you're going to set.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying I'm going to identify in the 4-hour work week who does what and what you need.
Good.
So yeah. So that I'll. Are you asking me to speed it up a little bit? Okay. Because I can go for a long time on this. So all right, I will.
I'll keep you on track.
Okay, I'll try to go at a healthy pace. So the next step, okay, that's something you should do, right? It's 4-hour work week. Focus on that. Now you've got your stuff. You run what we call a regular green test. You've done this at your computer. You really zeroed in on the areas. You've zeroed in on what's hot. You know exactly what size. You know exactly where you want to do it. This is the next step is outsource this piece. That's what Jack was getting to. Whether you have someone on your team that you have trained or they've learned from us, or you use our people, which is our concierge data, which you get through offers2owners.com, offers in the number 2 owners.com. And you say, I need these 6 zip codes. I want everything from 2 to 10 acres, fill in the blank, and then all the little criteria that you want in there. I need that data pulled. I need it scrubbed, and I need comps in there. I need it ready to go so I can set the pricing. How great is that? And it's kind of that fast. So now you're off doing whatever you want. Again, this is a 4-hour work week. Let them do all that work. Queue it up for you. Now you get back, it's 24, 48 hours later. You need to review that. You set your pricing, what percentage you want to come in at. I want to price these at 25% of that number. I want these at 22% of that number, and these at 18% of that number, whatever it is.
Those are very they're examples of how to price.
Right.
Please don't price your mailer that way. It
could be 33.
Very customized. Yep.
Yeah.
Could
whatever
be 75.
you want. It could be whatever you need, whatever you're
Pricing
going for.
Pricing is not why we're here today to talk about this.
But anyway, you're going to give them percentage. You're going to check them. I want you to eyeball them, spot check them, and let them do the work, by the way. And then this is outsourced again. Are you handwriting any letters? Nope. Are you doing all that? Nope. You already have set up, like we do, a company. Offers to Owners is our company, our direct mail company, because we got tired of people that I didn't have to. Yeah. I'd explain it all the time. They didn't get what we're doing, and it wasn't as cheap. So we created that for you. So anyway, the mail goes out. So again, 4-hour work week. I didn't do that. I haven't really done anything yet. He did. I kind of haven't. So, which is the way it should be. I like that. Exactly. Now, here come the offers. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on the road, Jill. What do I do? My phone, the stuff's coming back. So what? Don't do it. If you're new, right? I want you to learn how to do this. I want you to understand about these sellers and things like that. But in a perfect world, you're not taking the calls. And we'll talk more about that in a minute, the value of a live person versus, Google Voice. But you've got something like Pat Live set up. So you're on the road. The calls are coming in, the mail hit, yay! The mail's going somewhere else. You're not even dealing with that, and that's more on another show. You have that outsourced, but at the end of the day,
she means a UPS store or a PO box, not necessarily the USPS PO box, but someplace where your mail is going. It's either getting scanned in and getting to you, or it's being physically packed up and put into a FedEx package, which is how we do it, and we get all the mail for all the companies in one place, and especially when we're on the road here, we receive the package.
There we go. So that would be it. So, and then the phone calls, which is the majority of it, honestly, especially in the beginning, the majority of it's phone calls, and that's Pat Live, or some other unrelated third party, that's answering the phones for you. And at the end of the day, you're getting a report of here's the 12 calls that came in today, and you get to look them over and go, ooh, like it.
You get to listen to them.
Yeah, that too. Pick the ones you want, and then the next, remember, 4-hour work week, next day, that night, whatever is best for you. Now you're calling these sellers back and putting together the deal. I'm going to skip along the top. I'm not going to go through into great detail.
Or deciding you don't want to do them.
Right.
You're going to see if there's a deal there.
That's what I'm saying.
Real seller.
You're doing your due diligence, calling back, and doing the deal.
That is not something you can outsource.
Correct.
That is the massive magic sauce that Jill brings to this entire situation is her returning these calls and creating a deal very many times where there wasn't one when the person picked up the phone in the first place.
Sometimes that's true. So, and what Jack's saying is, it would be a situation like the message to us is, "Go jump in a lake. Your number's nuts. I want at least this." So that's good. You want to sell. So the next day I do my due diligence, and the next day I'm calling them back and going, we need to talk about the price. This is me. Whatever you and I work out, and that's a whole nother conversation.
She's a deal maker.
Thank you. So what tools do I need? Phone and a laptop. There we go. Now, so now we've got some deals. Let's just zip along here. 4-hour work week. I'm opening escrow and letting them do their thing. I'm putting escrow with the seller. I'm still going to manage it a little bit, a couple times a week, either myself or my staff, right? For you, it's going to be you in the beginning, kind of babysitting at least 2 times a week, touching all these people. But again, you could do this on the 4-hour work week. You got 3 deals you're working on right now. That's 6 phone calls a week that you could do to make sure, is everything going okay? Do you need anything from me? Did you get in touch with the seller? Okay, we're waiting on title. Got it. Thanks. Talk to you on Thursday. That's it. And then eventually now we're wiring the money, in 10 days from now. Again, phone and a laptop, and now you own it. And by the way, on this time while you're waiting to own it, remember we talked about the question that Andre had. You've already got an agent lined up because one of your rest stops was calling a couple agents in these areas and lining up who you like and getting an idea of the price. So when it closes, you're picking up the phone and going, all right, ready, go. Get those pictures done or get the drone shot if you don't have them already. Get that baby listed, hopefully by tomorrow. Let's go. And you're not doing it. 4-hour work week. They're doing the work. They're getting all the stuff. They're writing the posting. You just sit back. And again, you're rolling around while these properties are being sold. And then you're going to get, at the end of the day, you got to, oh, look, we got an offer on this one. Awesome. I need to sign this. Excellent. If you don't know how great DocuSign is and you're not using it like all the time, there you go. So we DocuSign the sales agreement from the broker. We're cruising around. We're 3 states over by now. We're working on trolling and sending mail for another area while this one's being sold. Are you following me here? And then the last piece that will need something from you will be a physical signature when you sell it on that deed. And so how great are these mobile notaries? Yep. So they will come to you. I showed wherever a picture on my live thing. So there's 2 options, by the way. Mobile notaries are awesome. They will absolutely come to your RV. They think it's the coolest thing too, and they've probably done it before. Yeah, come on in. You want a cup of coffee? Sure. And we're going to do the signing right here and send them on their way. It takes 5-10 minutes. That's it. And they'll overnight them back to the title company. Don't even think about it. The other option is now with the online notaries, there are, I'm not going to get into detail now, but it just, it exists. If you're really remote or it's something hard or whatever it is, you can do an online notary where you're holding up your ID. You're on your phone, literally on your phone, holding up your ID. Documents have been scanned in for both of you, and you click a button that you acknowledge it, and then that goes to the title company. So
this is all outlined in several different incredibly detailed ways in Land Academy 3.0, which is the most recent program. It's flowcharted and color-coded.
True.
And so what I say in the program, and I'll say now, is that in the beginning, you need to do all this stuff yourself so that you can make really, really good choices about who to outsource it to after your 10th deal. Mm-hmm. So you need to really learn and self-learn, and that's what this group is about, is to talk to as many people as you can within our group. Utilize Discord. Please join our Thursday calls and ask all these questions and details about this. We're happy to describe it. But what it all adds up to eventually, if you're into it and you want to go through the learning curve, it ends up not working very hard and making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. We are in our 2nd or 3rd now week in Career Path. Career Path is a program that Jill and I have where people are taking this very seriously. They want it to be their career, or it already is, and they're scaling way up. And they have a surprising amount of healthy, detailed-oriented questions about how can I stop working so hard?
Yeah.
Which is, I started out with that notion. How can I stop working as hard and make more money? And the answer is outsourcing and being a good conductor. Mm-hmm.
And knowing what you should be working on.
This is very possible.
Yeah.
It's very likely if you have the right personality and the right organization skills. And we have multiple, hundreds of current members that are doing it.
Exactly.
Let's take a question posted by one of our members on the Land Academy. I'm sorry.
That's right.
We need to take a look at a deal.
Oh.
Let's take another one. Let's take a look at one of our favorite land acquisitions. So when you're on the road, you don't necessarily have all the same equipment.
Exactly. You might get a little confused.
Let's take a look at one of our favorite land acquisitions from our weekly Thursday member webinar.
Pepin County, Wisconsin, $6,000. Nice job. Let me back up here. The original offer was $62,087. Evan said, I'll give you 6,000 is where we are.
Is access.
One broker indicated that if because of the access can be established and recorded, it would sell for between 120, 140, which is obviously what you were thinking when you did your original stuff. And we would target between 80 and 100,000 for a quick sale. It's 40 acres. Legal is a work in progress. Owner is the one who called. Everybody's alive. This area is said to be good hunting land for turkey, especially deer. This would be how the land would be sold. Most of the land in the immediate area is now buildable per state DNR regulations. So people in this area use it for hunting, a huge pastime in Wisconsin. He's 78 years old. He got it for $2,800 back in the mid 70s. He knows it's currently landlocked and the DNR won't allow any building in the area, but the area is used for hunting anyway. Corroborated by a broker, waiting to hear back from others.
I'll tell you, for $6,000 for 40 acres in Wisconsin, I would buy it.
And it's
With
current
no
condition.
access. It's just hunting. Just sell it as hunting land and you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at it on data trade and it's got like a river going through it. I just don't know how you'd access it. Even with access, the road's pretty far away.
Look, this is what it is. And you're going to have to cross over other people's land and they're probably never going to know. We can't check the FEMA map, but it's a drive.
40 acres.
I'd still buy it.
It's in a floodplain. You can check it on data tree. There's on the layers. Just gonna flood.
The whole area is.
Yeah.
For $6,000, I would buy this. Would you, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean for $6,000, obviously I would try to figure out the
Here's Minneapolis.
accessing before, but I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You sell it for 10 on eBay.
That's what
Right.
You know.
I would. Minneapolis is right here. We're going to sell it first week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, especially if it's worth 140 with access. I mean, gosh, that's worth just checking into for $6,000, trying to figure it out.
I want to point out that people are often afraid of, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this person from 62,000 to what I really think it's worth, right? And Evan's a good example of the guy. I'm sure the guy knew. The guy paid $2,800 for it, right? The guy knows it has this problem. No one can build out there. The access issue, whatever. So you just matter of factly state it and let it go. And like, he sounds like he was agreeable because he knows. So I guess my point is don't be afraid to just get it out there.
Let's take another question posted by one of our members on the Land Academy Discord online community. Again, if you want a sneak peek of all this, go to landacademy.com. It's free.
Cool. Okay, Andre wrote, I have a few signed purchase agreements. We went to the first one. He's got several. I love this. What's the next step for getting deal funding? Do I need a memorandum? How do I protect myself? When do I open escrow? Things are moving. I'm a little lost at this point in the process.
Which is totally natural and normal, and I understand it. And especially if it's working for you like this, you're going to have questions because you don't want to screw it up.
Exactly.
What followed Andre's question below this is multiple responses to who to talk to, multiple people who are in our group to fund deals.
How much money do you need?
And I've seen the good funders that we have in our group will probably take Andre under their wing and say, this deal's great, this deal sucks, let's do this together, I'll fund your stuff until you have enough money where you don't need a funder, and experience where you don't need a funder anymore. I put Andre in here for a reason. I've never talked to him. I didn't even know about him until I was writing the script, if you can call it that. He is a perfect example of he's self-taught. He watched Land Academy 3.0 probably 100 times, like most people. Got a mailer out, got a bunch of responses. What the hell do I do next? And that's very natural and normal, and he's doing the right thing. He's reaching out on Discord and utilizing all the tools that Jill and I put together for a new person to succeed, including using other members to get deals done.
Are we going to answer the question, or is that the answer to the question?
That is the answer.
Okay.
I mean, you want to answer it? Go ahead.
Okay, what's the next step to get deal funding? Reach out. If you go to landfunding.com and you just fill it out, it tells you exactly what I need: state, county, APN, purchase price. If you have a PA, attach it. What do you know about the property? Things like that. All the stuff, so I can go and look at it and go, oh yeah, it is a good deal, Andre. Happy to do that with you, right? Kind of thing. So, do I need a memorandum? Nothing yet.
No, your funder will put it together.
Exactly.
Because everybody's different. Our
Yeah.
memorandum's different than
Exactly.
everybody's.
They'll have a sweet little, hopefully like we do. It's ours is like a 2-page, 1 page. I think it's 1.5 page, something like that. Agreement where just spelling out what you're doing, what I'm doing, who's going to be on the deed, what I'm, how it's going to go. That's kind of it. So how to protect myself. That will cover that.
That'll cover it.
When to open escrow, anytime you want. I'm a fan of opening escrow as soon as you're doing the deal. Like, I don't know who's going to
Well said.
fund it yet. Let's just get it open.
Yep.
Because I can change that. Like, you can call your title company, Andre, and say, just put it in my name for right now. Who's a buyer? And then in 6 days, when you and I get the deal together, and I say, okay, here's what it's going to be, then you just say, hey, we're going to update the purchase agreement because we're now going to put it in this name. Okay, they don't care.
If you're brand new, I don't know, Andre, if you are not. If you're brand new and that process is intimidating to you, which I understand, then do it with your funder. And I hope that you get the right funder in the beginning. You might not. You might go through a deal and the funder's not your personality type.
Have a couple.
But please understand this, and Jill's great about this. Me, not so much. But please understand that these first few deals are going to be painful like anything. That's the first time you ever do it. It's like, yeah, I can improve on this. I can improve on this, and I can improve on this. Believe me, the first deals that I did, I'll do a show on this sometime. The first 4 or 5 deals I did were an absolute train wreck. But I made money, and you will too here.
So different.
It's just going to be a car crash of a disaster.
Oh my God. My first field deals were fun. I learned a lot.
That's what I mean.
get better.
Jill's great about this stuff.
I never call them a train wreck.
It's
tell me like your first few relationships.
Profitable train wreck. That's going to be the name of my next ebook.
Great. I love it. Okay. Awesome.
Today's second topic is called mailer yield and how it's a direct result of who answers your phones.
Let me lead off with this. As Jack has mentioned, before it was me and before there was a team, let's go way back. Let's go back to the 90s. The 90s, this person to my left was a one-man show. And so...
Sad but true.
As you were figuring this out.
That's the profitable train wreck.
Exactly. Yeah, I understand the point now. Yes, you had no one to bitch with or about or to or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, one-man show figuring out there's money in this. Like, what just happened? I bought this property off eBay. I own it. I did what the guy told me. I own it. I sent it in for recording. And then I went out and got better pictures. And then I wrote a beautiful description, learned about the area, put it back on eBay, and sold it for 3 times or whatever it was. Twice. Sold it for double what I paid for it. Okay, there's something here. So that's the backstory. So the point I'm trying to make is he was answering the phone back then. So he was the one when he figured out this whole thing, fast forward past that, that was him going out and finding a property, right? Just to test this. Fast forward to years later, figuring out I'm just going to canvas areas and send out these offers to all these people. Didn't even know I'm coming. Let's see what happens. And by golly, it worked and still works. And you get calls back now. So the point of today's second topic is these calls are coming back from these sellers that you sent out offers to, like what we do, and who answers the phone makes a difference.
No, it's not makes a difference. Who answers the phone?
It's critical.
Is an absolute non-optional critical piece to this entire business model. Hold on a second. I want to drive this point home. You know the band Journey. And you know Steve Perry. Every single person. If you don't, then you have bigger. Land Academy is not your first problem. For a very long time, most people don't know this. I only know this because I grew up in the 70s. Journey didn't have Steve Perry, and they cut a lot of records, and they were pretty good. Mm-hmm. The composition was great. Those guys can sing. Same thing with Van Halen. Well, one day they cut a record and Steve Perry's on it, and it's an international smash hit. like 5 or 6 of the songs, the ones that we hear all the time. It's 2023.
We
You can't walk
still
into
hear
a
Journey.
bar without hearing
Or
the
a
same
hockey
songs.
game.
Or a hockey game. So they got a lead singer. They got somebody to answer their phones. That is the completion. Jill completed this business model.
Thank you.
So we've had many people in Career Path, and we may or may not have people in Career Path right now who are very technically oriented like I am and believe that this is not a component that's necessary. That they believe something like this. Okay, Jack, you say he's got to send out 5,000 letters to get a deal or 7,500 to get a deal. Well, that's great. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to send out 25,000 letters. No one's going to answer the phone. And I'm going to get a couple of purchase agreements signed back, and I'm going to go on my merry way because the numbers still work. I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way. You have to answer the phone. There's so many things involved. When Jill answers the phone or she returns the calls, that when Pat Live, am I taking over your topic here?
No, it's fine.
When Pat Live actually answers the phone, and then Jill gets those messages and returns those calls, she creates deals. And at the same time, she's learning about a new area. She's talking to all these people and putting the deal together, and she's deciding, and maybe it's subconscious, whether or not we're going to send another mailer there. Does she like the people that are the other end of the phone? Do they act like New Yorkers, or do they act like they're from Arkansas? You choose which one where you'd rather do a deal. And so there's so
how to work with
much
them.
stuff involved. I was just talking about this in Career Path. If you've ever been to business school or taken any online classes, from 0 to 100, there's a critical point in every business where you deliver something to a customer in exchange for value. In most cases, it's money. In healthcare, it's that bedside delivery of sitting down with a patient or somebody who's whatever they need and delivering that with the care that they need. Most doctors really dismally fail at that. They're just technical people. They made it through medical school. They didn't make it through psychology school. This is the critical point of customer delivery. Your customer is that seller. The person who buys a property, the real estate agent is going to deal with that. And the property, you buy it so cheap anyway that there's no real value added to talking to a buyer, in my opinion. There's a huge amount of value for somebody like Jill, where she's sitting and talking to a seller and meeting that person from where they're coming, whether it's their price or the fact that their spouse may have died and they're making this sometimes difficult decision to sell property and they don't understand value or the process. She's delivering all that. So this person who, in your case, if you're new, you're going to answer the phone, or who's a deal maker, is absolutely critical to this. I know because I had Jill's job and I didn't do it right for a very, very, very long time.
That was the point I was going to make.
Oh, sorry. So I did take your topic
It's
over.
okay. Who would you rather talk to? Him?
Yeah.
Or me?
Or who would you rather listen to right now? You see that
Him?
stupid speech I just
Or me? Yeah, exactly.
Jill, you give it.
No, and that was beautiful, and I love it, and thank you very much for saying that. And some people incorrectly even think that Google Voice will do the job. Think they have a great voicemail. Please don't do that. So that's it. I just want to hit this home. You need to have a live body, preferably nice, sweet. People can relate to them, and someone who can control the conversation. Because the goal here is in 3 minutes or less to calm everybody down if they're hot, or just figure out where they're coming from. That's it. Do they really want to sell? And does your price work for them? And if not, what price does? Not retail. Let's be honest here. You know who I am. I know who you are. I'm just a sweet little investment company. This is all I do. So whatever deal you and I cut, it's our deal. I'm not an agent, not a broker, and I've got cash ready to go. I love your property. What number would really make you okay with all this and make you happy? And that would work for me too. And your goal is, all right, Jill, I know you offered 18. I got to pay off this stupid thing I'm staring at. Make it 25 and you can have it. All right. Let me call you back tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can make 25 work. That's it. That's how these things should go.
We have a couple basic personality types in our group. hundreds and hundreds of successful people, they have one of two basic personality types. Number one, they have some type of lifelong corporate sales, or they don't know it yet. If they're young and new, they don't know it yet, but they have Jill's personality. They're very successful, and they're a pleasure to deal with, and pretty quiet about their success in general, which is one of the things I love about Career Path, because we get to know those types of people, and they'll say stuff, yeah, that's great, that's how you guys do it, but this is how I answer the phone, and why this works so well, and why we're trying to scale from $100,000 a month to $500,000 a month. And then there's the second type, which is more my personality, where they are obsessed with mailer yield, how to get a mailer out, how to price it. And I have to tell you, along the comments that I'm saying, that I said earlier, all of that and all the money that's associated with, let's say, setting out a 10,000 unit mailer, which is going to cost you, six grand, will be wasted unless you have somebody on your team, or you can muster up the spirit, which is honestly what I did before Jill and I joined forces. You can just act your way through it. It will all be wasted, and you will eventually quit because you're not getting. We can talk about mailer yield and all of that stuff till we're blue. Until the person on my right makes a deal out of my mailer, deals out of my mailer.
So that's the downside. That's what can happen. We've had people where they're like, oh, I had a mailer flop. I'm like, what do you mean you had a mailer flop? Because I don't care if you overpriced it or underpriced it. Who'd you talk to? What's in those things? Oh, I didn't talk to anybody. Nobody left a message. It was a flop. I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? You didn't call them back? Well, no, they hung up. Like, what the heck? I can't. Let's go back through your list, shall we? I'll bet I can get something in there, and I can, and I have, and I've done that. So you know what? This is my thing here too. You need to be available, or somebody does, and take these calls and work with these people and talk through this stuff. I seriously do not believe, because the best thing that could be, here's the two. You think you have a nailer flop. It's usually you think, oh, I priced it too low. Everybody hated me.
My personality type thinks that.
So flippin' what? You had 35 phone calls this week. Then you need to call some of them back. You have 30, even if you had 35 sucky phone calls, you got their stuff out of them, because some of them said, take me off your list. It's reference number 12345. Great. Go look at 12345. He was hopping mad on Tuesday. So what? Let's look at it. Let's call him on Friday. Like, you know what? I looked at your property again, and I realized it might be worth more than I offered you, and I want to talk about that. Great.
Beautiful example, Joe.
That's it.
This is how you create a deal out of anger.
I would absolutely take that call, wouldn't you? Sure. You'd be like, yeah, damn right, that's too low. Let's talk. Okay, great. Well, what did I miss? And next thing you know, you're having a great conversation about this person, and you're about this property, and you guys are putting a deal together. That's it. So that's the thing when people say, oh, I did it too low. All right, now we can recover from that one. Okay, here's the other scenario. Oh boy, did I overprice. I offered everybody retail plus 10%.
Which has happened.
This has happened.
I've done that.
Yeah, like, well, fantastic. Now everybody loves you. So instead of the 13 or, however many, the 30 calls you had this week, you had 200. You had 200
Great.
People that love you.
More chances to do deals now.
Exactly. So what?
Might take more than 4 hours a week.
This is true on that, but you know what? And that could be your business model. I don't know. I don't think that would be a time waster. So I don't want that to be your business model. But anyway, you goofed. So what? Go back through those 200. Get a VA to help you. Go through and say, I need to know which ones have access. I need to know this about this one. I need to know this about this one. And then you can look at them and go, you know what? Of these 200, I really like these 20. I'm going to call these people back, and I'm going to have that tough conversation.
That could be your business model.
It could.
I'm not recommending this. This is your business model.
It's because it's a lot of work.
It's too much work.
It's too much work. But that could be someone's business model. Do a VA to screen them, and then you call back that these have all the 6.5, 7 A's that we're come up with another one now. Anyway, and you call them back and go, hi, my name is Jill. And yes, I got your voicemail, or I got your message. You talked to someone on my team the other day about your property. We need to talk. I looked over your property, and it is fantastic. And I know you were all excited about the $225,000 I offered.
I laugh because I've done this.
And I realized when I originally sent out the offer to you, I thought it has this, this, and this. And I realized it doesn't have those. But again, I do like it. So that 225, I can't do, but I can do 25. And if that works, I am ready to go. And then let them give them a minute, and we'll talk more about that. And we have talked more about that. And I do talk about that all the time within Land Academy, how to go from $225,000 to $25,000. You can do it, and I'm going to tell you, they probably expect it. They know. If you offered retail plus 10%, they probably know something's wrong. Or they think you know something that they don't know. Like, is Amazon moving in next door? And you're going to tell them, no, Amazon's not moving in next door. That's not what happened. I really goofed. But here's what I can do.
You should teach a class.
I do teach a class. Thank you very much. So anyway, that's how you recover from that one. I think that now we're going to go into dead horse territory if we talk about this more. I think you guys got it.
Let's take a look at another one of our favorite land acquisitions from our weekly Thursday member webinar.
Woody the Steel, Jefferson County, Missouri. Accepted offer price $45,802. Thinks we can sell it for $75,000. 7.36 acres. Yes on the access. Would like to get it cheaper. Not sure how much. Houses are next door. Utilities nearby. Great access. Road frontage on two sides. How great is that?
Jeez,
Wow.
it's bad Thursday. That's what this is.
It is.
That's great. Okay, so everybody's alive. Close to the town, 45 minutes drive from St. Louis. So one similar size, 5.5 acres smaller, listed nearby for 67.5. 1 month on market, has 1,000 views. Reached out to the listing agent, still waiting on his opinion. Same price per acre would make this one 90,000. So he's thinking 75 is realistic, and that one's smaller.
6.8 for 60,000. 5, and then it goes 5 acres to 100.
Click on one.
This is Missouri, so let's click on the cheapest one. 7 acres for 175. That's good.
Oh,
All right, so I don't sound like a broken record here. It looks like it's priced right.
yeah,
The property itself is awesome.
it is.
Like, what is this worth?
Oh, what are these houses? That's right.
350. The
On,
property's right next door, and the acreage is smaller.
mhm.
6,000 square feet, is that right? One
Wow.
bedroom, 6,000 square feet. That's a barn.
1 bath,
2008.
3 acres.
So that's fantastic. It's indication to me that this is a great deal. You got to get a broker, but man,
He's working
sure
on
looks
it.
good.
That's good.
Jill, you have something inspirational to share.
Yes. After all that, this is all from this week. I had some really valuable, awesome, interesting conversations between Career Path and the live webinar that I did. It was so much fun. And one of the little takeaways that I was thinking about the webinar that I did was the 1 or 2 people that jumped up and joined Land Academy while I was doing the webinar. And because I had a special going on at that moment. And it was sweet because one of the persons said a version of, I just found you guys. I've actually been on the road. I've listened to like 10 hours of your podcast in the last 2 days, and I get it. And I am in, and I love that. And that's I do a version of that. And so
Yeah,
my
me too.
inspiration, my note to myself was digging in on what sings to you. When you find something like that, and it really makes sense to you, and you're passionate about it, you know, I do that too, and I encourage you to dig in. You shouldn't. When something is too hard, you know, like you know what? I'll give you a story. I'll give you a backstory here. Kind of like where we are with this RV. This whole process, we've been trying to get a bigger RV for at least 6 months, I'm going to say,
Oh,
maybe
geez.
longer.
Yeah, about a year.
That we've been thinking about upgrading our RV, but nothing made sense. He liked it, I didn't. I liked it, he didn't. The deal worked for him, not for me, you know, or vice versa. It was too far. There was just everywhere I went, there was something that wasn't. We knew we needed a bigger RV, and we knew we both were on the same page about that. We kind of knew the manufacturer. We were still kind of
Yeah,
open.
We agreed on that.
We
from the
kind of
beginning.
did about the quality. We kind of agreed on that research, but the actual rig and the dollar amount and the floor plan and the size, none of that we were sure about. So, but this rig We owned it. We traveled 3 states over and owned it in 7 days.
We both just it sunk to
from
us.
finding it. I'm like,
it checked every box,
I think this is the one.
every single one.
Exactly. So that's a version. That's what happened to us where it just clicked. So maybe you listening now, maybe it's Land Academy, maybe it's something else. But I just want to talk a minute about trusting your gut and your head, knowing that, oh, this is right, this clicks, and just going for it. And when something clicks and it connects with you, and then as you move forward in the process, as everything starts to fall into place, then you know you're on the right path. And I want you to keep on going with it. Like, so found the rig, he liked it, I knew who to call. It was a sweet girl who made this sweet video showing the rig. It was her phone number. She answered the phone. Okay, I like this
This is
girl,
right dealer.
and we can communicate.
Too, yeah.
So that's another like, it's all going in the right direction. Things are falling into place. Now we're talking money. I'm like, all right, here's the deal. I've got this trade in, and so they'll take our trade in. Okay, there's another positive thing in the right direction. And the last thing is, how much is the difference? What was the gap?
And it was acceptable to me.
Yeah, I said, how
Let's
close
be
can you
honest,
get to this?
Jill wouldn't have cared what number that was.
I do care.
We're a
I do
team.
care. But
We're
there
a
was a
team.
number that we needed to get to. I'm like, how close? And then we had a number that we together agreed upon. If it's in this range, we're moving forward. And then it was. And then, like I said, so that's my thing. So whatever it is that you're moving forward or you're doing, whether it's Land Academy or something else with your life, trust your gut, trust your head, and those extra steps, if there's green light, keep on going.
I have an anecdote too, and it's not as positive.
Oh, are you just going to undo what I just did?
No, I'm going to be very realistic about this.
Okay, go ahead.
Because there's something that you said within all those words that you just said that's really, really important to understand. It has to sing to your head and to your heart. So when I was very young, starting out, long before I even knew that I was going to be involved in land or real estate or anything, I knew I wanted to be wealthy. Oh. And so that thought, it was in my soul and in my head. That thought can lead you to not the best decisions. Same thing like with a girl. You meet a great girl. It's all everybody's on their best behavior. Yep, this sinks to me. I'm going to dig in on this. And then date number 2 or 3 or 4. It's just again, it's a train wreck without the profit. So you got to make sure that there's a balance between your head and your heart, and
your gut.
and your gut, and define what sings to you. Like, because you can't just say, I really like how that girl looks and she's singing to me.
2 out of 3.
Or, I really want to be rich, so hold
I
on,
like
hold on
this
a second.
girl. She's pretty, but boy, she expensive.
Or I really, really, really want to be wealthy, and selling cocaine sings to me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to just follow either your head or your heart. It needs to be both. Or have women are better at having feelings. Like if it's the right feeling, then there's a chance it might sing to you eventually. But still, your head has to say okay too.
Yeah, I agree. Jack, so hopefully you didn't bring mine down. You didn't bring it down. That was actually good. Thank you. But so what do you have informational to share with us today? I'm
heavily into the research/writing portion of pre-launching a company that I'm going to launch later this year called ManPlan, MANPLAN.
You are launching?
Pretty much. Well, we're both going to do it,
Okay.
I guess. I guess we're going to do it together. We don't know yet, but I hope it's both of us.
I may be invited, I may not. It depends on if it sings to his head and his heart and his gut.
There's a lot of derogatory things I could say right now.
Right now, it might be 0 out of the 3.
A substantial portion of ManPlan is about helping people, helping each gender understand each other, and helping people convert those feelings of, let's say, I want to be rich, to, okay, how am I going to be rich? Now, we're all covered that we want to be that way, or wealthy, I should say. Now, how am I going to do it?
Successful.
And so there's a lot of concepts that I'm reading about, a lot of great material out there that's non-schlocky, that's not self-help stuff. It's actual real concepts like, hey, consider this. Another great example of, and I'll define self-liquidating debt because it's new to me. I just learned about it this week. Another great example is I just read this sentence. middle class people who can't break the veil of getting out of the middle class into an upper class, and I only mean wealth by that, pay their taxes first and then they pay their bills. Wealthy people pay their bills first and then after all that expense, pay taxes. That's sung to me. So there's all kinds of things that I'm researching, and I'm kind of inadvertently plugging ManPlan here. If you want to go to ManPlan now and type your email address in and get notified as this thing gets released, it's available to do that. Self-liquidating debt is a really cute name for something that we've all known about. I've always known about this as a recovering accountant, but I never heard this phrase. So we're all familiar with debt, and all of us are mostly familiar with how bad it is. I go buy an expensive car, brand new. We've all made that mistake, and then I got to pay all these fees and all the stuff that's associated with it. And it's always worth less than what I owe, and you never get out of that. That's just tertiary debt. It's terrible. Same thing with the mortgage. Sometimes you get out of that okay. More often than not, this day and age, I really think if you do all the math, not so much. If you go and buy an apartment building, and you utilize a rational amount of debt at a great rate, and the deal works, and the debt service coverage is okay, and all of that. This is the stuff we'll talk about in ManPlan. It's okay to take some debt out on that because it's self-liquidating. The actual first month's rent that you collect out of that new apartment building, if you do the deal right, covers the debt. And then is it really debt? It's tied to the building, not you, if you do it right, if it's non-recourse debt. So there's no damage in doing self-liquidated debt. So I guess my big picture point is here, and maybe this isn't, it's informational, not inspirational. Jill's inspirational, I'm informational. Think about this stuff before you sign your name about what's really, really happening. Tertiary debt's bad. Self-liquidating debt can be great. It can be a great tool to move you through the cycles of wealth.
Thank you.
And she just fell asleep.
Oh, I totally zoned out. It's all right.
Join us next Wednesday for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.